Let me ask you something. When was the last time you left a corporate event and thought, that changed something for me? Not just nice venue, good food, but actually change the way you think, the way you work, the way you lead.
That's exactly the question most companies never ask. And it's the question that drives everything we do at Spark Events.
So, let's get into it. Because Spark Events is not what most people picture when they hear event company. You're not showing up with a checklist and a caterer.
Not at all. We are event strategists. We are event directors. We are performance catalysts. Our role is to help organizations move from simply organizing events to designing experiences that shift behavior, align people, and activate business performance. That is a fundamentally different job.
30 years. That's how long this approach has been built and tested. Walk me through what that experience taught you that most companies still get wrong.
The biggest mistake I see, still after 30 years, is that companies start with the logistics. Where's the venue? What's the theme? Who's the entertainer? And those things matter, of course they do. But they are not the foundation. The foundation is the business objective. What do you need to change? What do you need people to feel, understand, or do differently after they walk out that door?
And if you don't start there,
Then you get a beautiful event that changes nothing. People arrive on time, enjoy the decoration, eat good food, take photos, and leave exactly the same as when they came in. The event happened, but the performance didn't move.
so what does it look like when you design it the right way?
It starts with 6 strategic questions. First, what is the real business challenge? Is it low engagement? A new strategy people don't fully own? A culture that's drifting? A product that needs market energy? You name the challenge first. Second, what behavior do you want the audience to change after the event? Not what they'll see during it, what they'll do after it. Third, what emotional shift needs to happen? Because events are powerful precisely because they are emotional. People forget presentations. They remember how an experience made them feel.
That's the part most event briefs completely skip.
Completely. And then fourth, what is the one message people must walk away with? Not 10 messages. 1. Fifth, what is the action after the event? Because the venue closing is not the end. That's actually where the business impact begins. And sixth, how will you measure it? Because when you measure events, they stop being costs and start being investments.
Let's talk about that word, investment, because a lot of CFOs and leadership teams still see events as a line item to cut. How do you change that conversation?
You change it by connecting the event directly to a business outcome they already care about. If the leadership team is worried about execution speed, design an event that creates alignment and ownership. If they're worried about talent retention, design an event that makes employees feel genuinely seen and valued. If they're worried about market share, design a customer event that builds trust and brand advocacy. The event is not the cost. The misalignment, the disengagement, the confusion, those are the costs. The event is the solution.
That's a positioning shift that I think a lot of companies haven't fully made yet. You're not a vendor, you're a strategic partner.
Exactly. And that's why we don't think in terms of event calendars. We think in terms of performance calendars. Instead of asking what events do we need this year, we ask what business performance shifts do we need this year, and what events can create them. January becomes about strategy alignment, March about breaking silos and building collaboration, May about energy and resilience, July about customer connection, September about product momentum, November about recognition and culture. Every moment in the year has a business purpose.
That's a completely different way of thinking about the annual plan.
It is. And when companies adopt this model, something shifts in how they talk about events internally. Leaders stop saying we have to do the annual conference. They start saying we need our people aligned behind this strategy. Let's design an experience that makes that happen. That's the difference between organizing events and directing performance.
You used a phrase earlier, employer of choice and brand of choice. Those are big ambitions. How does an event strategy connect to something that large?
Because culture is not a document. Values are not a poster on the wall. They are lived in moments. And events are some of the most powerful moments a company can create. When employees feel genuinely recognized, not just thanked, but seen, they become advocates. When customers experience a brand in a way that surprises and moves them, they become loyal. When leaders show up with clarity and humanity, trust grows. These are not soft outcomes. These are the foundations of being an employer of choice and a brand of choice. And Spark Events is in the business of designing those moments with intention.
So for any company listening right now that is planning their next event, what's the first question they should be asking?
Not, what should we organize? Ask, what business performance objective should this event achieve? That single question changes everything. It changes the brief. It changes the design. It changes what you measure. And it changes the impact you create. That is the Spark Events philosophy. And it works because it's built around what business actually needs, not what events have always looked like.
30 years of experience, a global approach, and a very clear point of view. Events are not activities. They are performance platforms. If you want to work with a team that thinks this way, strategists, directors, performance catalysts, reach out to Spark Events. The link is in the description. Thank you for listening.